welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was, and it has been a delightful week for me on the channel. I had a great time making a video on film adaptations of books, using as a case study the adaptation of Michael Crichton's Eaters of the Dead into the film The 13th Warrior. And of course I wandered all over the place in that and had a rather fetching water and ice metaphor to explain my thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses, the relative strengths really of the storytelling medium of books versus films. So yeah, I had a great time and I had some wonderful comments on that video that I enjoyed thoroughly. Some very thought-provoking comments. That is one of the great things about running one of these channels. I am always learning from you guys and I am so grateful for it as well. Just had a good time reading your comments and reacting to them. Everybody, I think, who loves books, generally speaking, we love good storytelling. We love good storytelling, and there can be some great storytelling on the screen as well. And there are strengths that screen storytelling has over books, for sure. So it was an interesting discussion, I think, that sort of looked at the assumption that I certainly had for years that books are just better, you know. Yeah, I grew that some time ago, but nevertheless, I wanted to take a peek at that. So that was fun. And I also, speaking of Eaters of the Dead and the 13th Warrior, I had a wonderful time chatting with Mike from Mike's Book Reviews about those two things, about Eaters of the Dead and the 13th Warrior. Whoops. Okay, yes, get the right thumbnail going here. All right, there we go. And I had a little bit of fun with my buddy Mike making the thumbnail, as well as you can see. But it was a great discussion, and we did have some occasion to remark on some things outside of those things, like, for example, Beowulf, which is really what sparked this whole thing. When I was talking with Mike over on his channel about Beowulf, the Eaters of the Dead came up because he is a big Crichton fan. And now I'm so happy that I can say I have read a Michael Crichton book, and it really was the one for me, although I'm certainly going to be reading more Michael Crichton at this point. I was impressed enough with Eaters of the Dead. And elsewhere on YouTube, I appeared on A Critical Dragon with my friend A.P. Canavan. We had, I think, a very important discussion, at least it's important to me, on a topic that I think is one that I believe that is important to reflect on, let's put it that way. And it was on world building and implicit bias in world building. So yeah, it was a very, again, another broad-ranging discussion, but one on certain points that can sometimes be difficult to talk about for people. And in addition, it was just great to talk with AP and have a chance to have some time with him, because he has been suffering from those migraines. I think I told you guys about that, and he has mentioned it on his own channel. And hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. I'm sure everyone would join me in wishing him the very best. And let's talk about what I am reading. I just finished Stephen King's Wolves of the Kala. So yeah, I'm very happy to have book 5 of the Dark Tower series under my belt now. I feel like I'm just this close to now being a Tower junkie. This is, I've really enjoyed the series tremendously, and I'd be shocked if it isn't in my top 10 of all time. At this point, I have enjoyed every single book. I think this is a very fresh read for me, but I think my favorite of the series so far is still Wizard and Glass. It's a close call, but I did love Wolves of the Kala, and I will have a review on it coming very soon. In addition, I think it's worth mentioning now that I have put out some feelers for a future palaver on the Dark Tower. It is something that I will be finishing this summer. I will be reading next after this Song of Susanna in, let's see, what's the next month here? June. And after that, in July, I will be finishing the series with the Dark Tower. After that, in July, perhaps in late July, it depends on when others finish, but late July, maybe early August, I will have on my channel a palaver like the one I had before, when I had read only 3 books in the series. I had that wonderful discussion with Mike from Mike's Book Reviews, and Sarah from Sarah Reads, and Chaz from Bookish Chaz. So we're going to get the quartet back together again, and we are going to have a Dark Tower palaver on the entire series. I would imagine that we would start that out with some non-spoiler stuff, but then, of course, get right heavy into the spoilers for all you Dark Tower junkies out there. So that is something that I have already started to plan for sure. And I'm really looking forward to having this series under my belt. It has just been a wild, wild ride. And next I am reading and starting Janny Wurtz's To Ride Hell's Chasm. And this is a standalone book that Janny Wurtz wrote, I think it came out a little over 20 years ago. And it is a book that I am very much looking forward to reading, because later this year, after I finish the Malazan read with AP and Jimmy and I are going to be reading Janny Wurtz's masterpiece series, The Wars of Light and Shadow. And so I figure, as just kind of a little warm-up for me to familiarize myself with her writing, I would just take on this standalone book, To Ride Hell's Chasm. But I'm delighted to say that I will be joined by some other lovely people. And here is my big announcement. I am going to be hosting a live stream. That's right, you heard it right, folks. A live stream on To Ride Hell's Chasm. And I will be joined in that live stream by some lovely people, including Joanna from the YouTube channel Joanna, and Blaze from Under the Radar Books. You may know him from his blog, and also his, what do you call that thing when you make the, something about a podcast, yes. You may know him from his podcast, and also we will be joined by Janny Wurtz herself. So that is an occasion that I'm very much looking forward to. It will be a live stream. I will be hosting it on my channel. This will be on Saturday, June 11 at 2 o'clock Eastern Time here in the United States. So Saturday, June 11, 2 o'clock Eastern Time here in the United States, and I welcome you all to participate in that live stream. It would be so lovely to see you in the chat and pose your questions. We will have a non-spoiler part of the discussion, so if it's a book that you have not read yet, you're absolutely welcome to come for that part and then leave when we start talking about spoilers. So yes, we will definitely start out with no spoilers. And of course, if you're someone who has read the book, or maybe you're someone who wants to just pick it up and read it before June 11, that would be fantastic to have you guys join us in that discussion. I'm very, very excited. I think that Janny Wurtz, I have heard her interviewed a couple times now, and she is a delightful person to talk to. I have actually talked to her in person as well myself. Just a wonderful human being, and I am so excited to be reading her work this year. It is going to be a major feature on my channel, and so this is a great way to sort of kick it off and to have the opportunity to talk about her work with her. Very excited for that. So again, I hope that you'll be able to join me. And after I finish reading To Ride Hell's Chasm, I'm pretty sure that AP and I will be having our Dust of Dreams discussions fairly soon, so I might read The Crippled God and then Assail and finish off the Malazan stuff. Or I might be sneaking in Mark Lawrence's Red Sister, the first book in the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I'll be sneaking that in regardless at some point, but I just don't know quite what the order will be. But that is all upcoming and stuff that I am all very excited about. And what else is upcoming? Well, actually, on this very day, Saturday, in fact, this evening, tonight, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, I will be taking part in Saturday Night Nights, or maybe if you're a Middle English inclined, you could say, or Monty Python inclined, you could say Saturday Night Kniggets. So yes, I will be knicht in Middle English. So yeah, I'll be on Mike's channel, Mike's Book Reviews, along with, this is a new thing that he's going to do. So it's a bit like his talks about nothing, except there's going to be 4 of us there. So Mike and myself, and we will be joined by Sarah from Sarah Reads and Alan from the Library of Alexandria. So yeah, that is going to be, again, tonight as this video comes out. It will be on Mike's channel at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, or as Mike says, 7 o'clock normal time, which is Texas time. So yeah, and then I also have some other exciting things coming up. I will be doing Dear Dr. Fantasy with Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads. That is going to be fairly soon, and I'm excited for that. And also Andrew and Nico and Alan and Sarah and Zara will be joining me on my channel on June 5th. That's a Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time for our final Long Price Quartet discussion. And this is focused on The Price of Spring, which is book 4 of the series, but it is actually going to be a discussion, I think, that will cover the entire series. And once again, we will begin with a non-spoiler, what we love about the Long Price Quartet, or why you should read the Long Price Quartet by Daniel Abraham, that sort of thing, for those of you who may be curious to hear more about this really fantastic series that I am so glad to have read. And I have to thank Alan for preaching the gospel of the Long Price Quartet. It's just a really tremendously beautiful series that had me in tears at the very end, and there's just some of the best character work I've ever seen. So yeah, it's a great series. If you're considering it, you could come for the beginning of that discussion on June 5, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And of course, if it's a series you've read, I'd love to have you participate in the chat. Yeah, I'm doing 2 live streams. Bang, bang, in the month of June. Live streams. I'm getting technologically savvy here. First, the thumbnails, which I'm getting better and better at. I'm now not relying on my daughter to make the thumbnails for me. She has taught me, and I have learned. So I'm mostly making the thumbnails myself nowadays, believe it or not. So yeah. So other things coming up on YouTube. I will be joining the Malazan crew that has been going on Steve's channel, Steve Talks Books. I'm very excited to be joining them. I believe that will be on Sunday, June 12. So, and that will be on the 3rd book in the series, Memories of Ice. And other news, writing news, I'll share with you guys that I am still, as I announced last week, still waiting for that last blurb from an author who is reading the first book in my trilogy. And once that blurb is in, my agent will make the pitch to publishers. And I expect that to happen very, very soon. So fingers crossed, everybody. I am very hopeful, and regardless of what happens with the pitch, I will be, in some form or other, definitely pursuing the publication of this trilogy. So, and I'm also working on editing the 3rd book in the trilogy these days, and having a blast doing that. So I am a very happy fellow right now. So yeah, that's it. That's all the stuff that's going on with me. And I'd love to hear what you guys are up to down in the comments. What are you reading? Are you enjoying it? What are you going to be doing this summer? Just let me know whatever you want down in the comments. I always love hearing from you all, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the support here on the channel. And until next time.